What is going on? It is week 4. I apologize that we missed last week. I was sick, so unfortunately we did not have a week 3 show, but we are back for week 4. We got a great show tonight. We got a great guest coming on, a first time guest. We're going to be giving you some players that we're giving up on. We're going to talk about some underperforming studs and what to do with them. We're also going to talk about some guys that we weren't expecting to be good that are off to a hot start. Of course, we'll do our Underdog Prop Bet of the week that we always do, our nonsense draft, and our forgotten fantasy player as well. So hang tight.
Going for 2, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for 2, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top end. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo!
What is going on? And welcome to episode 393 of the Armchair Fantasy Show. I am your host, of course, Geoff Lambert, and follow me on Twitter at JeoffLambert77. Of course, we're here every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. on the GoingFor2 Live Podcast Network. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, syndicated in all major podcast networks. And of course, you can find us at GoingFor2.com. Ryan had missed 2 weeks ago. He was out, and then I was out last week. We didn't have a show, so Ryan's been 2 weeks since I've seen you, man. What's up?
Oh man, same old. Just trying to survive and not hate football season too much. It's awesome. I love it. I haven't hit the injury bug that bad this year.
Oh, I've been crushed by it in my home league. So we'll talk about some of the players tonight, I think.
You have to look at the knees and see if they have strong ACLs or not when you're drafting. Give them
yeah, that's a new thing that we got to have, an ACL meter.
Once the doc's on, we're gonna talk to him about it. When you can look at the formation of the knees and find them strong ACLs and Achilles.
Yeah, there you go.
It's science. We're good.
You'll find it at some point.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
All right. For those that are listening to an audio, that voice that you hear is our first time guest, Mr. Topher Kurt. He's a writer at GoingFor2.com, one of our new writers. He's also part of a trio on the GoingFor2 Sunday Morning show with Kyle and Jamie. I see Jamie's already in the chat here. You can follow him at Topher44 on Twitter. Real quick, man, give us a little rundown of what you do in fantasy and what you do on the Sunday Morning show.
Okay, so in fantasy, I've played for a long time, but figured okay, why not throw my hat in this writing ring? And then I just told Jeff, hey, here's an article I did a few years ago for the heck of it, and I've written a thesis for my master's, so I think I can write, and here I am. So I am I'm doing a study about how a lot of our big, what am I trying to say, websites that give us the best rankings and resources like Yahoo, CBS, ESPN, Fantasy Life, Rotoballer, PFF, more than that as well. I'm comparing all their rankings and showing how big of a range the differences are. So at the beginning of the year, Rashid Shaheed literally had a 45 difference ranking between the highest ranking and the lowest ranking. And then most of his rankings were up by the top number, but a couple of them really tanked it. So kind of got to see that. So I'm playing around with that with the wide receivers and just going, hey, here's what consensus is saying, or nobody knows what to do with this guy, So that's what I'm doing for writing. And then on the Sunday morning show, I answer a lot of questions, sometimes well, sometimes very poorly, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying doing that.
Good stuff.
Hey, I know that guy too.
Yeah.
Jamie. I know you. Look at that.
Jamie's also on the morning show on
Yes.
Sundays. If you haven't checked it out, it's a great show. Kyle hosts it 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. So great stuff. Great stuff for sure. And Jamie's talking about Roshan. His boy got a little bit of run this weekend, so we might talk about him tonight.
Maybe.
Probably not.
All right, tonight's show, as always, brought to you by Underdog. I keep saying Underdog Fantasy. They changed the name. It is now just Underdog. There's no fantasy attached to it. So it's brought to you by Underdog. Check out their best ball leagues, huge tournaments, private leagues, pick'ems for all major sports. Use our promo code GF2 when you go there. You get your bonus bucks up to $1,000. It's as simple as that. Download the app. Use our promo code GF2 and start drafting some best ball leagues. They have weekly best ball leagues. They also have pick'ems that we do. We'll do some tonight on the show to show you how easy it is. It's also it's legal in more states than actual betting is. So if it's not if actual gambling is not legal in your state, download Underdog. You can still do some gambling there, have a little bit of fun, make the games a little bit funner for you on the weekends. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into our nonsense draft.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, tonight we are drafting movies that were made for kids that you secretly love or not so secretly as an adult. And as always, we give the 101 to the guest. So, Topher, you're up first here, sir.
Ooh, I am gonna have to say, I'm gonna go with Inside Out. I'm gonna start there. I think that movie kind of has a chokehold on me and who I am as a person, and I love it.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna have to say Inside Out.
That's a really good one, and I think I just saw that now streaming on Disney Plus is Inside Out 2. I have not seen that one yet, so my daughter's already seen it, but I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to make her watch it again.
It's doing good for me for the family box office contest for this year. We have bets on the best box. We each pick 5 box office movies, and that one's killing it for me.
Nice.
There you go.
I love it. All right, Ryan, you got the 102 here.
By the way, Geoff, I think you cheated on this because I feel like these are the only kind of movies you watch with having kids.
My list is impossibly long. We can go 10 rounds.
This is kind of dog shit. And I feel attacked. But I'm going with Zootopia. That movie cracked me up, especially that sloth, because that's how I feel when anybody's doing anything for me. So I really felt the pain there. I enjoyed that movie. Great actors were in it. It was hilarious. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that would have probably been my 101 as well. I love Zootopia. I've watched it many times. That's my daughter's choice whenever we go on beach trips. You know, it's a 4-hour ride to Outer Banks. That's her show that she always wants to make sure it's on her iPad that she can watch it. So, yeah.
There's a show, too.
What's that?
There's a show?
Well, I'm sorry. I meant the movie show. We say the same thing. It's a show. All right, I'm up at the 103, and Ryan kind of stole my thunder there because I was definitely going with Zootopia. Let me see. I'm going to go with so this one also has a part 1 and a part 2, and I like both of them. So I'm going to take both of these, Sing and Sing 2.
There you go.
I love both of those movies. They have an appeal to us older people as well because a lot of the sampled music in there is older music. So
Yeah.
My daughter may not know all the music, but I know all the music and she loves the show. So Sing 1 and Sing 2 are my pick here at the 103.
You stole that from the choir director here. So that was a good move right there. Way to steal that early on. I'm going to have to, speaking of music, I'm going to have to go with Moana as my second round pick.
Nice.
The music in that is just perfection. So I'm going to go with Moana.
Yep. One of my daughter's favorites as well. We watched that a ton when she was younger. So the live action one, I think, is coming out pretty soon, I believe, as well.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, you're up at the 202.
I feel like this one's cheating, but I don't care. It was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, that animated one that came out recently.
Nice.
That Seth Rogen directed. It was so good. Like, it was definitely for kids, but they had the adult jokes in there for it. And
oh, yeah.
it brought me back to my childhood. Loved it.
Nice. I'm glad you cheated because I'm going to cheat on this one too. Because
you're not allowed to cheat. No.
I make the rules. I can cheat.
Bullshit.
So this one is made for kids because it's animated, but I think adults enjoyed this one. I think it was also meant for adults
That's gonna
as
be like
well.
South Park.
I'm going with no, not that. Spider-Man: The Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really waiting for the third one to come out. My daughter and I got into that. I finally convinced her to watch it. She's not a huge like Marvel fan. She likes Star Wars, but she's not a huge Marvel fan. I got her to watch the first one. She absolutely loved it. So we watched the second one in theaters, and now we are dying to wait to see the third one. So yeah, that would have been my 101, but I was afraid that Ryan would say I was cheating. But since he cheated, I'm going to cheat here and take Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
I like it. I like that pick. That's a brilliant pick.
A lot more adult.
Yeah, I mean it is, but it's also got some. It's not as bad as like Avengers. Like Avengers, like I see my daughter not liking it because it is a little bit more adult. Whereas I think Spider-Verse had enough kid stuff in there that it was good enough.
It's also really visually appealing and incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna have for my third round pick. I'm gonna have to. This one's tough, but I think I'm gonna go Wreck-It Ralph.
Nice.
Wreck-It Ralph. That one, something about that one just always gets me, and it's kind of like rooting for the underdog, and
that's a very good one. I like that one. Good stuff. All right, Ryan, your last pick here at the 302.
I was really struggling, but I remember when I did enjoy Hotel Transylvania.
Oh, that's a good one.
We're a very Halloween household, and the cast is so funny in it. And it's weirdly relatable for being about, vampires and zombies and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, that was a very good one. Did not have that one on my list. I have a list literally of 11 movies that I could have picked from, and that was not on there. So I told you my list is impossibly long. I always joke that I only had a kid so that I can watch these movies without feeling weird in the theaters. Get my daughter to watch them. Something about a 40-year-old man by himself in the movie theater with the kids that doesn't sit well. But you bring my daughter along, it's okay. Yeah. All right, my last pick here. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go old school on this one. I'm going to go back. It's probably late 80s, early 90s. And I'm going to go Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yes.
The classic.
You and Jamie in the comments need to take a cold shower talking about that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see Jamie said it in the chat right before I said it. I didn't go as far as Jamie, but yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one for sure.
I almost went The Land Before Time.
That's a good one
going
too.
Back to childhood.
It is. I don't think I could watch that now as an adult because I feel like it's too sad.
Yeah. You know the crazy thing is that I watched a TikTok that had like movies that have impossible amount of sequels. There's like 14 of those Land Before Time movies. It's like ridiculous. They have like spin-off after spin-off.
And if you don't know what happened, do you know what happened to the little actress that was the lead in that?
I do not.
This
Sad turn.
is gonna be terrible.
Yeah. Right after she got done recording, before other people did, her father actually murdered her. Oh. So, like when they're saying, So, is it that movie? I think it's that movie. So, Wow. So she was like this child star going to go do things, and then boom. So that one's even more sad now for you all. So you're welcome for showing up on your podcast.
Really brought the positivity.
And building everyone's spirits up. And I'm a true crime junkie as well. So
any honorable mentions on your list, Ryan?
Nope. I was going to say the animated Star Wars TV shows, just talking about those with my friends, but I feel like those were also kind of cheating.
Kind of for
that was All Dogs Go to Heaven. Thank you, Jamie. I knew it was one of those. I knew it was. Thank you.
Changed the mood for no reason at all. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Misinformation. We're all about it here.
Yeah,
right?
So a couple of my other movies. Despicable Me was on there. Obviously with the Minions, the whole spinoff with them. I had Up. The movie Up was a good one. Trolls, for the same reason I like Sing. I like Trolls because they have some of the music that you recognize. Mm-hmm. Those are a couple of my honorable mentions as well. All right, let's get into the armchair roulette. And I have a drop now, Ryan.
You have a drop now.
Let's get ready for Armchair Fantasy Roulette.
All right. If you have not
Hold on,
watched the show, go ahead.
Can we talk about the Facebook comment that just showed up? Because I have no idea who this is and what's happening. But I'm 15 minutes into the show, no idea Wigglesworth. But that $50 my glazed honey bun. That,
I don't know what this.
I don't know what this is, but it's the best spam job I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Alfredo
Wigglesworth.
Wigglesworth. We've never had a spam with an actual name. Like usually it's like some weird scribbles, like symbols and everything. But yeah, we got some good spam tonight.
Yeah, Alfredo Wigglesworth. I'm gonna use that in the future.
I feel like it's a really good pasta dish.
All right, let's get our first topic here. All right, this one's a little bit hard to see there, but it's talking about Josh Allen's success rate and how high it is now. What I wanted to talk about more than anything, this is success rate per dropback, but number 2 on that list is Jaden Daniels. Before the season, if I told you Jaden Daniels was going to be second behind Josh Allen in success rate per dropback, Ryan, what would you have told me?
I mean, one, I've never heard anybody use that stat before, but no, I wouldn't be there yet. I think the upside's there. And I think when you have a rushing quarterback who can get out of trouble and has 2 really good dump off running backs, it makes sense. But it's kind of shocking. It's definitely shocking. We didn't expect him to have this kind of performance right away. But the talent's there, the upside's there. It's super exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sober.
Yeah, this is not something that I would have predicted. But I also can say that I wouldn't have been fully shocked by it. I've been very pro Jaden Daniels all summer. I just think he has the tools that he's showing and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, I think that I think it's pretty impressive. I'm enjoying watching him.
Yeah, I saw another stat just in regards to the team in general, and I can't remember exactly how it was, but something about no team in NFL history has had 2 games back to back where they scored on every drive and had 0 punts in an entire game, and they did it twice. And no other team in history has done that with the Commanders. So I know it's a lot of dinking and dunking with that first game with the 7 field goals or whatever it was, but it's still pretty impressive. And then this last game that he played, I mean, he was tossing it down the field. So it's impressive for a rookie in 3 games in.
And the way the NFC East is looking, I know it's early. They're looking really strong in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, let's get our next topic on the board here. All right, this one is it's basically a sit-start sort of thing or a rest of season. Would you guys drop Ezekiel Elliott or Zamir White for any of these 3 guys? Rico Dowdle, Braylon Allen, Jawan Jennings. So we'll take this in parts here. We'll go Zeke Elliott first. Ryan, any of those 3 running backs you prefer over Zeke Elliott? Rico Dowdle, Braylon Allen, or Jawan Jennings?
I mean, yes. I'd get rid of him for the 2 and 3, and Rico probably. I think it's kind of a lateral move because they both stink.
Yeah. And this is from Dave Delaney on I believe this is on Facebook, just to give him a shout out. What about you, Topher? Zeke Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Braylon Allen, Jawan Jennings. Are you dropping Zeke Elliott for any of those 3 guys?
I think I'm dropping him for all of them. I would say Rico is the last option. But I don't know. I mean, Rico's only averaging about like a 44% snap share right now. I'm not too heavily invested in that.
Yeah, it's tough, right? I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, I would hope, is not a starter on your team anyway. So
Yeah.
If I'm looking at it from that perspective, I want the guy that has the highest upside, and I think that's probably Braylon Allen. If you look at kind of the way that the snap share has gone with him and Breece Hall, Allen is getting a bigger and bigger piece in each game, and he's looked really good. So I think their goal is to basically, 60-40 split that, and I think both running backs in that offense can be good. And then, God forbid, Breece Hall goes down, Braylon Allen has top 12 running back upside, and I don't think Dowdle has that, and Juwan Jennings definitely does not have it. What's that?
He has top 3 or 5 upside if he goes down.
Agreed. So I think looking at from that perspective, where I think Zeke Elliott's probably not a starter, I want the guy with the highest upside. I'll take Braylon Allen for sure. Like I mentioned, Dowdle's probably a lateral move, and Juwan Jennings is probably just a couple week rental because once I think Debo comes back and Kittle comes back in this offense, he's going to go back to being Juwan Jennings and doing a lot of blocking. So depending on my team build, I might keep Zeke Elliott over Juwan Jennings. Let's do Zamir White, Ryan. Is there any of those 3 guys? Are you taking him over Zamir White?
Not Rico. Yes, Braylon. Yes, Jennings. I don't think Zamir White's it. And it saddens me because I thought he'd be getting a lot of burn by now. Dude, he's getting beat out snapped by Alexander Mattison. Alexander Madison's just not good at football.
Yeah.
What's that say about him? He's dead to me. Like, you're RB51 right now, and you are top 10 in carries.
Yeah, what's crazy is his coach came out before week 3 and said his goal is to get him 20 touches a game. And then this last game essentially benched him after the second half or after the first half.
Yeah.
So something happened in that game where he decided that he's not the guy, and he didn't play that whole second half.
If he gets 20 touches, he'll be lucky to get 50 yards. He's not good.
No.
Really
hasn't been. What about you, Topher? What are you doing with these guys?
I mean, I'm gonna keep Zamir over Rico because I don't see any upside that Rico has over Zamir. I don't want to keep either of them. I would not want Zamir or Zeke on my team. Zeke literally went down to I think I just looked. It was a 19% snap share. So it had 51% week 1, 40% week 2, 19 week 3. Ugh. I'm definitely taking Braylon Allen and Juwan Jennings over that. Even if I get Juwan Jennings for another 3 or 4 games, he's not going to do what he did last week, but he can still be a dominant option on your team. And my first choice would be Braylon Allen. Second choice would be Juwan Jennings. Third choice would be throw a toaster in the bathtub with me. So
can I throw one more guy in here for you guys?
Yeah.
With the Zeke and Zamir White conversation, Javonte Williams.
Ooh. Well, you know, Ryan, that I was a big Javonte Williams guy, coming out of college. I've since cooled on him, obviously, for obvious reasons. But I think I want him over Dowdle still. And Braylon Allen, I think I want Allen. I think I want the upside of Braylon Allen over Javonte Williams. And Javonte Williams has struggled these first couple of weeks as well. So it's tough. But I just don't see it getting any better for him. Juwan Jennings, again, it would depend on my team and what I needed. If I needed a receiver for the next 3 weeks, I'd probably do that as well. But, running backs are so hard to come by. I might keep Javonte Williams if I need that depth.
Can we talk about some running backs who are outperforming Javonte Williams right now? Miles Sanders, Ty Chandler, Rico, Zeke, who is 12 spots ahead of him, 13 spots ahead of him in fantasy production.
Gross.
That is brutal.
Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift, who stinks now, Tyler Batty, dude, it's bad.
Wow. Yeah. That is pretty brutal.
I didn't realize how bad he was until I wanted to just do a trade to kind of screw over somebody today and get rid of him. I literally made the trade just to be spiteful. But I gave away Javonte Williams for Juwan Jennings and something else. And I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, you felt good about it, I'm sure.
I felt really good about getting rid of him. And I feel like it looked like an overpay, but thinking about it with how bad he is, it wasn't.
Yeah, I have 0 shares of Javonte Williams, and I did not realize how bad he's been. I thought he was bad, but I didn't realize he was that bad. Wow.
2.2 yards per carry. You
Yeah.
can go forward and get that.
Yeah, that's brutal.
The only thing that is his saving grace right now is that he's got 11 targets and he's got 10 receptions for 77 yards. So he's getting involved in the receiving game a little bit, but not anything that you want to bank on.
Nope, absolutely not, for sure. All right, let's get to another topic here, gentlemen. All right, this one's from Andrew Erickson on Twitter. He says, running backs. Well, here it is. We got the same name on this list. Running backs, it's over for. He lists 3 running backs here: DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, and Jaylen Warren. We just talked about Javonte Williams, so we'll go to you first, Topher. Talk about DeAndre Swift and Jaylen Warren. Are you ready to give up on these guys?
I'm not ready to give up on Jaylen Warren because he's been injured. So I am not starting him until he proves something to me. But, and welcome to my dogs. We have a 1-story home, so I don't have a basement or anything.
Ryan's dog used to be a regular guest on the show.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He used to
There you go.
Yeah. He got used to it.
So yeah, with Swift, I don't think Swift would only hold on to his job strictly because of the absurd amount of money that he's received. But he is on the same level as Javonte Williams right now, and he's getting a much higher snap percentage than Javonte and more attempts and less targets and receptions. Yeah, I holding on to Jaylen. Trading Swift to somebody that might still believe in him. Same thing with Javonte, but no.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think Javonte Williams, I'm off of Javonte Williams. Jaylen Warren, I'm still hanging on to him because I think he does get more involved as the season goes along in the passing game as well. DeAndre Swift, I mean, here's the opportunity to talk about Jamie's boy Roshan. I mean, Roshan had fewer carries than Swift this past weekend, but he was much more efficient with his touches. Actually looked really good. He went from a week 1 healthy scratch to I think he got 38% of the snap share this in week 3. So Roshan's kind of eating into DeAndre Swift's workload, and if he doesn't get his stuff together, then he's going to be losing his job soon. So I think Swift is one that's sort of, you have to hang on to him for now because he is talented enough that he could get it together and be fine. But seeing Roshan in the rearview mirror is making me a little bit nervous. What about you, Ryan? What are your thoughts on these 3 guys besides Javonte Williams, Swift and Warren mainly?
Very, very similar. I think Warren's a hold because, like you said, he's been hurt. We don't know, and we've seen a mixed bag out of Harris. And Pittsburgh obviously wants to run the ball, so there's still that upside there. I think Swift might, while he stinks in every freaking world right now, we've seen him flash before. And I think that gives him a little bit of grace where I'm holding on to him instead of just kind of pulling the ripcord, just because this Chicago team in general is just an absolute mess right now.
Yeah.
And it might be worth seeing if they can get it turned around by week 5 or 6. You might end up just eating it and be screwed, but I think you're going to be trading him for a late pick anyways. Now you're not going to get anything worthwhile, so it's no different than like a 3rd round pick to me.
Yeah.
So I think I'd take that chance that this offense can kind of get it together because we've seen these flashes. We've seen big playability. We've seen him kind of know what his teammates are doing and thrive. Here it's just, it's great. Yeah. Chicago's right now.
Yeah, I mean, so much for all that talk of, Caleb Williams having the best receiving core and, a good running back core when he first, came into the league. It's not been good the first couple of weeks.
One of these years as a fantasy community, we're going to remember that offensive line's a real thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Points off it. It matters a lot.
Yeah, they were showing one of the goal line plays from this past weekend and how literally the entire offensive line for the Chicago Bears essentially fell down Like,
I saw that.
and they just
Oh.
it was brutal. Like, just to see them all,
Yeah.
like, they just weren't even trying. It seemed it was pretty bad.
Even if you're a running back, and like they showed that video, it was on Twitter today of him like missing an easy cutback. With the way they're in the backfield and hitting you, you're seeing ghosts.
Yep.
It's real, man. They need to get it together. While Roma Dunze looked awesome this week, they should have drafted offensive lineman in his spot. That was stupid.
Yep.
It was so stupid. Protect your quarterback. Look at Joe Burrow right now. I
Yeah.
bet he wishes, as great as Jamar Chase is, he had an offensive line that was functional as well.
Yep.
Yep.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Give the big guy some love.
Agreed. 100%. All right, let's get our next topic on the board. All right, this one's from former GoingFor2 member Jeff Bell, for whom the J Bell tolls on Twitter. Devin Singletary is on pace for over 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, 51 receptions, and 329 receiving yards. Topher, I want to go to you. Is this pace something he can maintain, you think? I mean, no one was really high in Singletary coming into the season, but he's looked pretty good through his first couple of weeks here.
I got to tell you, I took Singletary as my RB3, or when I was doing some hero or zero RB, I took Devin Singletary. He was my guy that I took before. I took either Cincinnati running back, either Tennessee running back. Like, he was going around that range, and he's the only guy in that backfield. Yes, they're playing a little bit more of Tyrone Tracy as of last week, but Devin Singletary has, everywhere he goes, he looks good. He's not dominant, but he looks like a starting football player. And now he's on a team where he has to be the reliable source. And he's proving that he can. He's proving that he can receive. He's proving that he can make those runaway runs. You know, he can keep things going. I'm all aboard Team Singletary.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan? What are your thoughts on Singletary here?
So I am an all-time Devin Singletary hater. I will not deny it. I will not go back on it. He's playing really good football right now. One of the issues with Singletary, and especially with him getting this workload always, is getting beat up. Like, he's not a huge back.
Yep.
Taking a whole workload week in, week out. It might be great now early on. It might be a sell for me if I had him, which I don't. But if I had him, he'd be a sell just for the fact, if he's performing well, he's a guy who can take a little bit of a beating and kind of get worn down the stretch. And like you mentioned, Tracy getting a little bit more involved, they could be trying to keep him healthier for longer because they know that as well. So I'm a little cautious. If he has 1,100 yards, great for him. I ain't betting on that stat line, though.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask for Singletary, because you're right. He is a little bit of a smaller guy, has dealt with some injuries in the past. Has an awesome start. I think he's definitely a sell high if you can get something for him. But I mean, you can't deny his workload right now.
No,
not at all. Also, an 1,100 yards and 11 touchdown projection at week 3. There's still 13 running backs who are going to get more than 1,100 yards this year. It's not going to happen. Like, that projection, it's really harsh. Like, yeah. I could see that like 800, 850 range realistically. It's fun to look at now, but man, I can't see it lasting.
Yeah, Jeff Bell, for what it's worth, he likes to put a lot of tongue-in-cheek type stuff on Twitter, and he'll put these kind of stats up that are just kind of unbelievable. And this is probably one of those times where he's just pointing out, like, he's had a really good start to the season, but I don't know if this is going to continue. But I think Singletary probably is a sell high right now, like you mentioned, Ryan. But yeah, so far so good. If you drafted him like Topher did, you're definitely happy with what you got so far.
Absolutely.
I might actually have 1 or 2 shares. I might have exaggerated, but yeah. I'll never admit it if I did.
All right. This one is about Rachaad White, who's coming under fire a little bit over this last week. But it basically says, is Rachaad White just a glorified Alexander Madison? That's from Tyler. I can't read his name. Tyler Path on Twitter. essentially, this whole talk with Bucky Irvin, we talked about it a lot in the offseason, Ryan, that Rashad White, could potentially be replaced. Is that happening? Do you think that's already started with this Bucky Irvin thing?
Rashad White is a timeshare back. Like, Rashad White was meant to be a timeshare back. He's not built to be an every down back like he was last year. You got all that volume. He's a solid pass catcher. They're going to be in a pretty good split, and they go hot hand 60-40 any given week. I love the skill set of Bucky Irvin, what we saw coming out. I think he's a fun prospect. I think he's better than what we've seen on Rashad White as a runner, but Rashad White's still a good pass catcher, and it keeps him on the field.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Rashad White, Topher?
I have always thought that what happened last year, what was I going to say? That happened last year with him was a little bit of a fluke. Right now, Rashad White has 31 carries for 66 yards. And Bucky Irving has 24 carries for 145 yards. And Irving is not getting as much in the passing game. He only has 5 catches for 28 yards, while White has 12 catches for 98 yards. But Irving's only been on the field for 32% of the time, while White's been on the field for 71% of the time. So there's a big difference in that time split. And I've got it. I think that White is going to slowly lose this job to Bucky Irving by the end of the year. Bucky Irving is the guy that I want to go trade for right now. I'm looking if there were some leagues that he was available in. I picked him up yesterday in waivers. I'm trying to negotiate Bucky Irving in a couple of my leagues. Like, I want him on my team.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Bucky Irvin has shown that he's, at the very minimum, is going to split 50-50 with Rashad White at some point this season. And Rashad White built his entire season last year on volume, right? I mean, he had just insane amounts of volume. I think he was second or third in total volume at running back. And I just don't think that's something that they want to maintain. He wasn't very efficient with the ball, with running the ball. He was more of a pass catcher. So I think they do want to limit his workload. And, you probably took Rashad White with a pretty decently high pick. So I think I'd be looking to add Bucky Irving to my roster if I could.
See, we should have combined the last 2 questions and say, is Devin Singletary this year's Rashad White?
Rashad White, there you go. Yeah, he's getting the work. He's getting the workload. Yep, absolutely.
Full circle show tonight, baby.
Yes, it is. All right, let's get to our next topic here. All right, this is another comparison that's been going around Twitter. This one's from NFL Shots Fired. Trevor Lawrence is literally just Daniel Jones with long blonde hair. And they actually, you can't see it in this graphic, but they actually had his stats compared side by side, and they're very, very similar. Everyone's been hating on Daniel Jones. Trevor Lawrence is starting to get that hate as well. I'm going to go to you first, Ryan, 'cause I think you were in the same boat as me this offseason, and you kind of like Trevor Lawrence to have a bounce back.
I love the bounce back was happening, man. Them pretty locks just distract you from the football talent. Between that and the draft capital, holy cow! Dude, he looks bad. They haven't won a game since week 11 of last year. Since they're 8-3. Is my math right? So week 11, it's the last time they had a win. Yeah, dude, they're not playing good football. He's making terrible decisions. He's inefficient. And that team has a lot of talented offensive weapons. It's not like he's in there and has the Patriots receiving squad.
Exactly.
Like, he has weapons. Christian Kirk's a good receiver. Brian Thomas Jr. has talent. Etienne's an explosive running back. Ingram's a good tight end, even though he's been hurt. He should be better than this, man. There's no way, as much as we've talked bad about Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson, Gardner Minshew, he should not be being outperformed by them. Yep. Will Levis is outperforming him right now. He's terrible at football.
Yeah,
it might be time to move on.
Where do you fall with this, Topher? Were you a Lawrence guy in the offseason as a bounce back, or were you on the other side of the coin?
I don't think I was on the other. I was in the middle. I was he could be a viable QB2 in Superflex leagues. But he's not anybody that I'm going to chase after. I really like Brian Thomas, so I chase after him. But there's not been enough for me to really ever go, oh, I believe in Trevor Lawrence. If you look at their stats just passing wise, Trevor Lawrence, the past 2 seasons has passed for over 4,000 yards and plus 20 touchdowns. Daniel Jones, besides his rookie season, threw 24 passing touchdowns. His next highest season had 15. He's only surpassed 3,000 yards twice, and one of those was 3,027 yards. So when it comes in terms of fantasy, Trevor Lawrence is the elite the prospect between the two. Yes, Daniel Jones can run with his legs more than Trevor Lawrence. So what? Fantasy wise, you want Trevor Lawrence on your team, hands down. If you're talking real football,
neither.
No. Give me a third option. Let Tommy DeVito come back. Give him a chance.
Yo,
come on.
Yeah, so I was pretty adamantly on the Trevor Lawrence bounce back. You know, me and Ryan talked about it a lot in the offseason. I think I even went on another podcast and said that I still had him in my top 12 for Dynasty, thinking that he would eventually find his way back in. I thought it was injury related. I thought it was his talent that got injured last year. But man, I mean, he has looked really bad, and it looked even worse on Monday night against the Bills. They just got walloped. I mean, he looked absolutely, terrible. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I had both of these guys, or if I had an opportunity to get one of these guys, I don't know if I want either one of them as my starter in fantasy right now. But right now, I mean, Daniel Jones has a little bit more upside with his legs, and he's playing a little bit better. I think Jamie put in the chat that 2 of the 3 weeks so far, Jones has been a top QB, a top 12 QB. So it's hard to swallow, but yeah, Jones is outplaying Trevor Lawrence right now for sure.
Dirty workout. Yeah.
That hurts the soul. I got to tell you that.
All right. This one is from Joshua Cho on Twitter, talking about Brock Purdy. People need to stop doubting Brock Purdy. He threw for 292 yards and 3 touchdowns and added 41 yards on the ground. The only thing people can hold against him now is his draft capital. He's shown enough at the NFL level that he is Purdy good. So from fantasy, I think he's QB 6 or 7 right now. He had a game this past weekend.
Geoff, quit trying to add. Quit being that big of a fan. Just adding spots.
QB 10. Okay, fair enough. Maybe he's QB 6 in one of my quarterback leagues where you.
He might have been QB 6 if he didn't have a fumble each of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. But my question, Ryan, is with Brock Purdy. So he had a week where he didn't have all his starters. He still looked really good this past week. Are you comfortable with him as your QB1, rest of the season or in Dynasty as a QB1 on your team?
New Kirk Cousins is fine, dude. Yeah. Like, Brock Purdy is fine. I mean, I prefer him as my QB2 in Superflex. But if I'm rolling out there and I have a strong team, I'm completely comfortable. He's never going to lose you a week. He's a solid football player. He's a really good quarterback. Is he going to have a ton of top 5 performances? Probably not. But is he going to live in that 8 to 14 range week in, week out? Hell yeah. And I'm great with that.
Yeah. What about you, Topher? Where do you fall with Purdy?
I'm with you. That 8 to 14 range. I definitely had him. I had him 1 or 2 spots below Jordan Love all preseason. Just like I think Jordan Love can reach top 5 QB where I don't think Brock Purdy can. So I think that Purdy's a solid low-end QB1. If you've got Superflex and he's your QB2, that's a great spot to be in right there. Plus he's in a Shanahan offense that's going to just continue to help him thrive with one of the most talented rosters in the league around him.
Yeah,
he's my second, he's my second or third most roster quarterback in fantasy.
Yeah,
like he's a really good football player. It's not worth overthinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie in the chat says he's still doubting Purdy. He believes Mac Jones could do the same thing in this offense, and I disagree wholeheartedly. That's true. Who cares? Because
he's in that offense. Like the system quarterback thing makes me so mad at this point because we don't know. But the thing is, you're not plucking them out.
Can we ask Jamie about the Browns quarterback situation? Because I think if he's gonna go barking up the San Fran tree, I think he should be able to talk about what's going on in Cleveland.
Talk about that, man. It's a great time to be a Browns fan.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we got time for maybe one or two more topics here. All right, this one is from JJ Zacharison. Anthony Richardson is currently ranked last in the league, according to Next Gen Stats, in completion percentage over expected. Only Bryce Young, Will Levis, Caleb Williams, and Deshaun Watson and Bo Nix have been worse. I don't know. Anthony Richardson, what do you think, Topher? What are your thoughts on him rest of the season? He looked really good in week 1 and has not looked good since.
No, and I'm going to tell you the only reason that I think he looked really good in week 1 is because he got a couple of his errant throws actually like caught. And yeah, like he scored on those and he scored a rushing touchdown. But without that, he was 9 for 19 in that first game for 212 and 2 tutties and an interception. He has 6 interceptions on the season already. And he has 2 fumbles. He didn't lose those, but that's up to 8 turnovers in the first 3 games. That is a toddler on Madden right there. Okay. Yeah. Or just me playing Madden. But he has not had above a 50% completion percentage all season. I am worried about him. I stayed away from him because people are like, he's top 5. I'm like, yeah, he's got the legs, but can he play like Josh Allen, having those legs and being able to square up and throw the ball like Jalen Hurts as well? He's proving that he doesn't have that. And that's sad. Because
one of the things you mentioned there was his rushing yards, right? I mean, we expected the rushing to be there, and so far it has not been there. I was trying to pull up what he has rushing right now, if you have the stats in front of you or not, but it's not good. It's for a quote unquote running quarterback, he has not been running the ball.
He has 117.
117 through 3 games. It's not good if you're a quote unquote running quarterback.
I mean, it's not awful. I mean, if you're looking for like, that's on pace for what, 550, 600 rushing yards for the season, maybe a little higher. I'm not perfect at math, but that's not horrid at rushing.
I mean, if you drafted him with the knowledge that he was going to be running it like a Justin Fields type, or that 550 or whatever that he might get is not going to put him in that top top 8 range in quarterback with his throwing ability being what it is.
Right now, he is in the top 5 for quarterback rushing yards. Lamar is leading the pack at 254. But you know who's in 6th place for rushing? Malik Willis. 7th place, Bo Nix. 8th place, Justin Fields. 9th, Will Levis. Like, just because you got legs does not mean that you are going to be quarterback extraordinaire.
Yep. Ryan, what do you feel?
I completely disagree on this one. I'm bringing positivity for a change. So we talked about Josh Allen. We talked about Jalen Hurts coming in. Both were very, very experienced college quarterbacks, 4-year starters. Josh Allen struggled his rookie year. And we're coming off a devastating knee injury week 1 of last year. It's his first time starting since college. Do you guys know who the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL is right now?
I'm going to say Anthony Richardson probably is.
Anthony Richardson is still the youngest quarterback in the NFL right now, with some of the least college experience, without a fully healthy offseason this year. There's a learning curve, and he's still, amongst those struggles, kept his team in games. He's made big plays and clutch plays when needed. Josh Allen completed 52% of his passes rookie year, and he's a superstar. He just needs the right system around him and them to be patient with him and not just pull the trigger. Like, we see those flashes, and it's fine. This is an overreaction right now. If it's week 9, week 10, it's still looking like this, maybe a little bit. But, dude, you got to have patience. Not everybody is going to be a superstar at age 22 right now.
Fair enough.
I was. Everybody at age 22 was on top of the world and going to do everything. Come on.
At least you thought you were.
What do you start?
Oh, yeah. So, but you know what?
24 starts in college in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is his 27th or 28th start he just had in his entire football career. Guys, like, some of these guys came in, like Josh Allen had 48 starts before his first start in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is 4 or 5 years out of the league. There's a learning curve from going from the Florida Gators, where you weren't asked to pass and you just had to run the ball because you're a better athlete, to the NFL, where you have to do a little bit of everything. It's patience. Bo Nix had played freaking 8 years in college.
Bo Nix is my age.
Bo Nix helped walk right to Declaration of Independence, for God's sake. Like, let's be real.
Yeah. You know what? I'm also looking at the defenses that he played in week 2 and 3. Green Bay, they've got talented players, as they should, because they've essentially used every first round pick in the last 30 years on defense. And then the Chicago Bears. So, like, the last 2 weeks, he's played some stout defenses. He comes against Pittsburgh this next week. But then after that, he has Jacksonville, Tennessee, Miami, some opportunities there to make some waves. So I think you got to take time. I'm going to take a step back a little bit on my slander. You know what? Got to give him some time. But if you get halfway through this season, and you know he's getting to Buffalo in week 10, and he's still doing the same thing, that's definitely an issue.
Yeah, agreed.
Yes, Zach, there we go. That's what we're talking about. I told him to play a Dunze and wrote about him in my article. And the week before, I had week 1, I told him to not start Jameson Williams. So for him to trust me again, I feel very honored. So
Jameson Williams. I'm such a Jameson Williams guy. I'm so happy about it still.
See, I'm a Sam Laporta guy. I'm an Iowa guy myself. I'm born and raised there. Live in Kansas now, but TEU is special to me. So,
I mean, telling you, I don't blame you.
All right, let's get to our prop bet of the week.
Prop bet of the week.
All right, let me pull up the underdog sheet here. There we go. All right, so Ryan, I'm gonna go to you first here. Give me what you got for your prop bet this week.
Oh, go to him first. I was not.
We weren't ready for this.
I missed this one. I thought we were just gonna stick to the thing.
All right, Topher, we'll go to you first then.
Okay, so I'm going Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas. Right now he's got a 45.5. I even pulled it up on my app, ready to go. Come on, Ryan, get with the program.
45.5 is the line there.
Pennsylvania does not allow prop betting on on FanDuel. I can do it on any other gamble. I can do it on any gambling app I want, except for FanDuel. And they're just like, F you, Ryan. But I got to get one now. We're cool.
So Brian Thomas has had 47, 48, and 94 receiving yards in his first 3 games. And against Houston, it's going to be a passing game. I'm going higher. Absolutely.
All right. Higher than 45.5 for Brian Thomas. All right, Ryan, you have one for us now?
Malik Neighbors over 6.5 receptions. He's getting targeted at a crazy pace right now. Yes. 6.5 receptions. He's blown away the last 2 weeks. Just keep it going.
Nice.
He's that offense.
All right, Malik Neighbors. We got a little bit of a I forget what they call it.
Boost.
A little boost. Yeah, 1.07 times for the 6.5 receptions.
You're welcome.
Look at us betting on rookie wide receivers right here.
Yeah, no, I was trying to think because Ryan took mine. I had Malik Neighbors as well, not the 6.5 receptions, so I'm going to have to choose somebody else now. I do want to throw the promo on there. I want to throw the Patrick Mahomes promo on there. So let's see. Let's think of another rookie receiver here. Let's see. Is Arizona?
Rookie.
Yes.
So let's just go all rookie.
The rookie slate. Yes.
All right. So Marvin Harrison, he has a 0.5 rush or receiving touchdown, higher or lower. You know what? It's against Washington. I'm gonna go higher on this one. I'm gonna say that he gets at least 1 touchdown this weekend. So, all right, we went to all rookies. We have Brian Thomas Jr. higher than 45.5 receiving yards. We got Malik Neighbors higher than 6.5 receptions. We have Marvin Harrison higher, a half a touchdown. And of course, we added in the Patrick Mahomes promo for half of a total yard. So let's go ahead and drop my my $5 on this. So if we get all 4 correct, we will win $60.45. It is that easy, y'all. If you haven't signed up yet, get the Underdog app. It is that simple to play. It is GF2 is the promo code, and you can get up to $1,000 in bonus bets if you sign up with our promo code. So absolutely, go do that now. All right.
Yeah, do that for sure.
Let's get to the Forgotten Fantasy Play, which I know Topher was super excited about.
I am.
For GoingFor2.com's Forgotten Fantasy Player of the Week.
All right, let's get your hints.
Okay, so my player was played 4 Pro Bowls for the NFC in the years 2003 through 2006.
Alfred Morris.
No.
Ryan thought he had it. What was the years again?
2003 to 2006.
2006. Okay. All right, I need more.
Okay. He played college at North Carolina and was a 2nd-round draft pick in 2001.
Hakeem Nicks.
Oh, good guess. Colleges don't do anything for me because I don't watch any college football.
Did you say receiver?
I've not said receiver. I've not said the position yet.
All right, I need some more.
Okay. Played tight end for 10 years in the NFL.
2003 to 2000. Chris Cooley.
Nope.
And you said how many years was he a Pro Bowler?
4 years, from 2003 to 2006.
Okay.
Oh my God! No, that's stupid. You said UNC, right?
Yeah. See,
yes,
the college is nothing for me, so that's helping out Ryan a lot more.
Oh my God. Nope.
All right, give us some more.
Okay. The 3 teams that he played for in his tenure were the New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans, and the Atlanta Falcons.
New England Patriots.
Delaney Walker?
Nope.
No, because he had 49ers in there too. Was it in that order that you said, or was
Nope.
that just the three teams he played for? Okay.
The order was Atlanta, Tennessee, New England.
Jamie has Algie Crumpler in the chat. Is that the correct
Algie
answer?
Crumpler,
Good job,
absolutely.
Nice.
My next thing
Good
was
one.
gonna be his name is also something that is green in the water.
Algie, nice. I love it.
Good.
His first name is actually Algernon. I was going to
Really?
use that as well. So it's going to say his first name is Algernon, but he did not go by that. He sounds like a transformer.
He does.
I think it's so much cooler if he went by Algernon. He went by trouble.
Algernon Crumpler. That sounds like a football name.
Algernon, I believe it was Algernon Darius Crumpler.
Yeah, that's a football
If he
name.
went by his full name, we'd be talking about him the same way we talk about Gronk. We'd been that much better.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, that wraps up the podcast. We'll go around the room real quick. If you want to plug your Twitter handle, anything that you're working on, want to plug the show as well. Topher, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, my Twitter name is in the username box right here. Follow me there. I will tweet things randomly, do a lot of retweeting, and I will be on Sunday morning show here. And then I will be writing and then guest appearing on podcasts because I've been guest appearing on podcasts since I've been hired pretty frequently, which is a lot of fun. Also, Jamie, who was Crumpler's QB, Michael Vick until 2007, obviously. And then I actually did read up that he got fined for in 2007 for a Monday Night Football game where he put like Michael Vick 7 in his.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So yeah. So I didn't know that either, but I was like, oh, that would be a very bold statement to
Why he
make.
was locked up?
Who?
Well,
What was that?
He did that while Vic was locked up.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
that while Vic was locked up.
Yeah,
Not a good look.
you can't
Not
do
a good
that.
look.
You're lucky you didn't go by Algernon because people would have known who you were.
Yeah.
I mean, Algie though, like Algie's a name that you're going to remember as well.
It does, but it's not as aggressive.
That's
Yeah.
true. Algernon.
I feel like I could play chess with Algie somewhere, not Algernon. I feel like me and Algernon are like committing crimes together.
All right, Ryan, what you got going on?
Dude, not much. I'm here every Wednesday night. GoingFor2. Make sure to tune in. I'm over at the Rookie Big Board with Dynasty Big Board podcast, talking all Dynasty and nonsense, and that's really it. It's nice and fun and relaxing.
Whereas here, you gotta prepare a little bit, right? There, y'all just hit record.
It's here relaxing. I'm just here to talk football.
Good stuff.
He's
All
just
right.
here so he doesn't get fined.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I said that at work today when I had to go to a meeting. Didn't go over well.
I'm sure it didn't. All right. As always, guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Geoff Lambert77. I want to thank you one more time, Topher, for coming on tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Being here. It was a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Good stuff. Love it. I just want to plug our Discord, our free Discord that we have over 2,000 members. You can find the link in my Twitter bio, also at GoingFor2.com. We got over 50 fantasy coaches to answer your questions. We got it set up to a way where it's all forum related, so things don't get lost in the endless scroll of a chat. It makes it much easier to find things. So check that out. You can find the link in my Twitter bio or at GoingFor2.com. For Topher, for Ryan, I'm Geoff. We will see y'all next week, and good luck this weekend.